Tonight, I will introduce this unique master's experience system or points combination, and I will give you 4 examples to detailed explain why it's so good and how it's so good. Firstly, I'd like to introduce Professor Jin, Professor Rui. It's not my system, no, it's Professor Jin or Master Jin. He was one of the most renowned acupuncturists and professor in China. Unfortunately, he was gone in 2010. He was specialist not only in acupuncture clinic, but also in education and research. His most important contribution to acupuncture is this 39 points combination formula. That means that also called Jin style acupuncture or Jin's 3 needles. Maybe you heard about that. In China, there's not so many masters' experience summarized in that way after his name and his unique name, 3 needles. As a basic contribution, and he was specialized in especially the brain diseases, brain conditions, or we can also say it's neurological diseases. Later on, I can show you a point. There are so many good points for the brain conditions, and especially for kids. He has a great experience to treat the cerebral palsy and epilepsy, or other brain injury and spine injury. Those could be very difficult to be treated with normal and or ordinary acupuncture. And also internal conditions. That's a basic technique, actually, a basic skill for acupuncturists in China to treat internal conditions like stomach problems, the heart problems, the lung problems, etc. This system or this style is part of the Southern China style, Lingnan style it's called. In China, we have China is big, territorially big. They have Northern China, Western China, Eastern China, Southwest China, or Southern China. In different places, they have their different unique styles. Like in my city, Chengdu, it's Southwest China. We are very good at also to use Taoistic acupuncture, like pistol needles. He was a professor and the supervisor for doctor students, PhD students in Guangzhou University in 1979. That's the first year, 1978 and 1979. That's the first year when the university took college students again. He was so great, and he was assigned as a professor there. There are 39 points, which can be divided into 4 categories. The first category is for the neurological and psychological disorders, and most of them are on the head. For example, the needles for the sun, intelligence, brain, or temporal region, or dizziness, and so on. Those at the trigeminal neuralgia, facial paralysis, facial muscles. Those most of 10 of them are on the head, and only 3 needles for hand intelligence and foot intelligence are on the palm and on the foot, under the foot. We could see that those points can be very useful for daily things, daily conditions. We do have lots of acupuncturists, a patient who come to us to treat like sun disorders, could be anxiety, could be depression, or headache, or for the stroke sequelae, or for the facial paralysis or neuralgia, trigeminal neuralgia. We could see the names are very simple to remember, actually, like 3 needles for the brain. That means for brain conditions. Simple, right? That's one of the advantages I'd like to introduce. This points combination, 3 points or 4 points combination, which are the primary points we can use to treat a certain condition, like the brain disorders. In our I believe in most of our clinic, we use not more than one needles, maybe 5 needles, 5 points. There must be some idea, some philosophy to choose those points. And this is the first philosophy I learned when I was an intern to make points combination. That means to choose 3 as a basic structure, And there are also points for the pain, especially for the spine extremities. I think it's very good logic to categorize points in that way. For the spinal, could be the neck, bank, no bank, lumbago, and sciatica. That's for the spine. We do have lots of patients for the spinal pain, and also extremities, arms and legs, shoulder, hand, foot, knee, ankle, and so on. And some special conditions like atrophy. And also, of course, internal conditions for stomach. There's 2 interesting points combination. 3 needles for yang and 3 needles for yin. Actually, yang means male, andrology, and yin means gynecology. In Chinese medicine, we believe in within the male is yang and female is yin. And also for the eyes, nose, throat, etc. We do also have lots of conditions in that category. For example, later on, I will introduce 3 needles for the nose. That's quite effective to treat the allergic rhinitis or the long COVID when people lost their smell. That's a general picture of this 39 points combi. And now I'm going to introduce the first one. The 3 needles for intelligence, which is called Zhi in Chinese, Zhi, intelligence. That is a summary of the function of the brain, like how about the memory, how about the reaction, how about the concentration and understanding. So if the brain functions well, we see that people are smart and people's intelligence is great. So these needles are used to stimulate or to strengthen our intelligence or to improve the function of the shen and the brain. There are 3 needles, only 2 points. Du 24 and goblet 13. Du 24 is called Shen Ting, the room for Shen, and the 13 called Ben Shen, the root or courtyard of Shen. So from their names, we could find there's close relationship to Shen. Shen means also intelligence. We could say this points here. That's 3 needles, but 2 points. These points are special. I will introduce more about this. Firstly, according to their names, they are directly used to stimulate Shen or treat Shen disorders. And there are other explanations. That's my understanding, because they have close relationship also to the Skappark puncture. In the WHO standard Skappark puncture, there are also 3 points close there. It is called MS1 and 3, which can be treat Shen problems, used to treat Shen problems. That is MS1 here in the center, and MS3 that here to treat the liver and the Hun problems. MS means microsystem. This linear points, not a point, but the whole line, half turn superior and half turn inferior hairline are called these points. Maybe some of you have learned that. If you're not, you could Google and maybe check your textbook for puncture. You will find them. It's called the standard Skappark puncture. These 3 points are normally combined to treat all Shen conditions and also Hun disorders. Why these points are so good? It's also based on our modern understanding of the brain's function. Those 3 points can stimulate this frontal lobe. That's here, frontal lobe. The function of the frontal lobe are related to the concentration, planning, judgment, emotional expression, creativity, and inhibition, and more. That are basically our function of Shen, to control the body, to concentrate, to make judgment, to plan, etc. So we can understand now, if we stimulate this area, they can directly affect, stimulate the brain special cortex about Shen disorders. So there are another reason why they're so good to treat intelligence or Shen disorders. And one more good reason to use them is that when we puncture do24 upwards here, actually we can also puncture another point, do23. Do23 is a special point among the 13 ghost point. Maybe you have heard about it, maybe you learned that. Ghost point means they're especially effective to treat serious mental or psychological psychiatric conditions like schizophrenia. In old days in China, we don't know this term schizophrenia, but we do know the word ghost, that somebody else control your body, somebody else is talking here, somebody is make some noise in the head and so on. It's like schizophrenia, and other like serious depression, sleep disorders and so on. So in old days, we use ghosts to describe or summarize those serious mental conditions. And do23 is one of them, do23. Yeah. It is half turn, sorry, it's one turn over the hairline, It also called 鬼堂, ghost hole. That means ghosts are meeting there. So in a short, there are three theory to explain why those points are good to treat intelligence problems. Actually, it means the function of the Shen of the brain. That is my favorite combi to treat lots of psychological disorders like depression, anxiety, insomnia, PTSD, or like just stress or all kinds of conditions. This is one thing. Another indication I also suggest or also use is to low intelligence. That especially for the kids, for children. Intelligence, that means the development of the brain. When there's developmental retardation, the intelligence is not so good. Like they are a little bit slow to understand, a little bit slow to read, slow to talk, and so on. In Chinese medicine, that's a typical kidney gene deficiency or brain deficiency. And those points can be used to stimulate. One saw the doctor to treat like cerebral palsy. That's a typical retardation problems. Like even the kids, the people is 20 years old, but their intelligence still 3 years old. That means brain development problems. And those points are most important, and we can help them. Yeah, in the original function, they are used to treat the children, but we could think more about it. How about aging, dementia now? When we're getting older, our brain not function so well, right? It's degeneration. Degeneration of the brain, like a dementia, actually, is also a typical sign of kidney gene deficiency. I think we could also use those points to stabilize this degeneration, and also, of course, to help them. It's a good chance to help them, or to slow down the aging of the brain, degeneration of the brain. Our poor memory, just another example of the intelligence. Manipulation, it's quite simple. We just puncture upwards, like you puncture do24, do23. We can puncture half turn to 1 turn deep, I would suggest for all the 3 points upwards. That could be easier to puncture upwards. Normally, I will puncture half turn, half turn. Depends on the de qi. If the de qi is not too strong, we could do some manipulation to make de qi, Right, that the first one for the Shen problems or intelligence.